House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Two. All right, everybody, House to Home is back because it is Tuesday. Now, Liz and Gina are here from RE/MAX Diamond Realty. And ladies, there was a kind of a report that came out from our good friend Cisco Hutapea, which kind of gives an overview of property valuations on the island and everything like that. And I've talked about this with the two of you for years and now. You know, real estate, like economics, is cyclical. You know, you have your ebbs and flows, you know, your bull markets, your bear markets, your highs and your lows, however you want to frame it, right? And everything like that. As realtors, at what point and how many years do you have to be in the industry until you're actually used to, you know, times being good, times being bad, and then you can kind of like get used to the fact that, you know, like it's not always, you know, like too high or too low?
Well, like you said, it's cyclic. Gina, I've been in the real estate market for 25 years, but also my parents would prepare rentals for military. So growing up, that was what I saw a lot, that my parents would buy property and prepare it for rentals so that they could rent it out to the military. So I've been in it a while, but Gina, you've been in it, what, 30, 40 years? You got into real estate right out of high school. 40 years.
You guys told me never to talk about numbers, or at least like when it things having to do not with like price quotes and everything like that. But no, I mean, it does speak to experience and everything. You guys have been doing this like a long time. So do you feel maybe, Gina, as if you've got a good sense of being able to predict when things will begin to improve, or when things are like getting a little rough, you know?
I think we've been in the market long enough so we can see patterns, and Liz and I say we can feel what's going on with the market. And, you know, you talked about Cisco's report, and actually home prices here on Guam have troubled Liz and I for a while. We're always the ones, you know, we bring this up occasionally in the show, that we're worried about the cost of living here, particularly the cost of housing. And we've been singing that song for a while. Right now, you know, the cost of rentals and the cost of owning a home is going up so much that this is an issue. It really is an issue that needs to be dealt with. And I mentioned to you earlier that, you know, PDN was wanting to do a story about, you know, why is the cost of rents here so high? And their interpretation of the data is that military housing allowance had gone up, and so the prices went up to match. Well, that's not how the economy works, folks. It doesn't work that way. You don't say, I want $5 for gas, therefore people will come and pay $5. I mean, we don't have a choice as far as that's concerned, but one doesn't, like, I can't just put my house on the market and say, okay, this house that I normally rent for $800, well, now I want $2,000 for it. The market doesn't just step up and pay you $2,000 for it. That's not how capitalism works. But if I only have that one house and I have 25 people who want it, they will outbid themselves to get that property. And that's how capitalism works. So the trick here is and I say that the government, because government is the only entity that can address this with some results, for the government to look at this problem and say, okay, you know what? It's getting out of hand. Our local families can no longer afford to rent. Our local working families can no longer afford to rent or to buy real estate here in Guam. And there comes a point where the government has to step in and say, what can we do to put some relief on this? And I don't mean restriction, I mean relief. Like, can the government build infrastructure? Can they put in water? There's so many families with land, they're rich in land, but they don't have the capital. They don't have the money to bring in infrastructure, water, power, roads. So they have the land. So if somebody were to put that in, they could build their own homes, but they don't have the money to bring in water, power, roads. And the government can certainly find resources to bring that in. And that's what I'm advocating for.
Okay, now Liz, I want to ask you, and you say, you know, with your decades of experience, I would go ahead and guess that probably the three worst times that Guam's real estate market has ever been, I'm assuming after 9/11, the 2008 financial crisis, because everybody in the nation felt that, and during the pandemic, right, the coronavirus pandemic and everything. Is there anything I missed? And then conversely to that, what has been the time when property values and activity in the market have been at their best in Guam's history?
Well, right now, it's at its best because the interest rates are really low.
Mhm.
So people want to maximize and buy because they can afford it. Their interest rates are low, their monthly payments will be more manageable. So right now is the time, and it's not just Guam, it's across the nation. But what's going to happen is if that interest rate changes, so people want to take advantage of it. So if the interest rates go up, then that will make it more difficult for people to buy. And right now, Gina, myself, all the realtors on the island are experiencing multiple offers. And we feel bad for individuals that are trying to submit offers and cannot get it because they just became outbid again by, a cash offer.
Mhm.
But our market, yes, is cyclical. Remember when the Japanese boom was that people were just buying $1,000 square meter lots
Mhm.
during the Japanese boom. And then when that bubble burst, then everything dropped. And I remember talking to people and they said, hey, the Japanese offered me $1 million. And my feedback, and same as Gina would say, well, you should have sold it for the $1 million because it's only worth 200,000 now. So, I mean, we've had these, Gina and I have these discussions all the time with different clients that come to us and they want $1 million because the Japanese offered them $1 million. But today we go with market. Now it is possible that it may have been worth $1 million then, but today's market, we don't pull a figure. We always check the market. And if there's competition, then of course it's a bidding process.
Mhm.
However, we always look at facts and figures, and based on today's market, we always go that route. But Gina is right. I wish there's a way that we could help our local community to build homes and have infrastructure available where they don't have. I remember one client, he spent $60,000 just to bring in power and water to his lot. So it would be nice if somehow there's a program that the government could come up with where all these people who have properties could build and make it a bit more affordable. Because right now it contract, what is it, 100 to 200, 160 to 200 right now to build per square foot. I mean, it's and then you can't even find the contractor. So yeah, there's got to be some way that the government can assist instead of being more of the roadblock with policies, procedures that prevent a regular, owner to build on their property. So there's got to be something done.
Very well, but unfortunately we are out of time. But I'd like one or maybe 2-word answer from each of you, and we'll close with this and everything. We'll start with you, Gina. What, in terms of these cycles, right? When things are either too good, too bad, doing all right, not doing so well, and everything like that. How long in terms of time are these cycles? Go ahead. Months, years, what? Weeks?
And it's unpredictable.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like the tide that rolls in. You don't know how long it's going to take to roll in, and you can't really predict how long it's going to take to roll out. It's the same with real estate. So, it's unpredictable. All I can say is if you're looking to sell now because the market's great.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And hope for better days. And when the tough times do roll around and everything like that, we do what we do as Guamanians, just, buckle down and, we'll get through this. All right. Thank you so much, ladies. Bye-bye. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on House to Home.